In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove a fuel pump from a fuel pump module and replace it on a Honda Accord. Start by opening the trunk on the Accord. You want to grab this handle and pull on it. Take an object that you can push the seat back. Push the back seat down. Now you can come to the back seat. It's more easy to access this area, but you're going to pull up on this little cardboard piece. Take that out of the way, fold it down. And now you have access to the window opening to the fuel pump. You have 3 mounting screws holding this cover down, and it's a little Phillips screwdriver. Like I said, there's 3 of these. Set them aside. And I take the screwdriver and just pry this up a little. Sometimes there's like a little bit of a sealant on it, not much. Now there's your fuel pump, and here's the fuel line, and here is the connector. See that little black tab? We're going to squeeze that and pull up. Like that. Now we can really get that cover, set it aside, and out of the way. So here is the fuel line that feeds the fuel rail. And all you're going to end up doing is squeezing these 2 tabs right here, but I'm going to take a rag just in case there's residual pressure. And once I squeeze those 2 tubes, I'm just going to put a rag over it so I don't spray myself. That's it. I'm going to just tuck this line, hopefully keep it right out of the way. And there is 2, 4, 6 mounting bolts holding this fuel pump down. This is a retainer ring, like holding it down. And these nuts look pretty rusted and wasted. I pre-sprayed them, but let's hope. I'm going to try to put a 12mm on there and see what we can get. Alright, so these are what you call twisty sockets. They basically take corroded nuts off without damaging the stud and the rest of the part. So I've got 2 sizes here because these nuts are so corroded that I got a grip on this one. And you're going to have to, if yours are in this condition, you're going to definitely have to replace them all with some brand new ones. So only 6mm studs that come out of the gas tank. So it's not a lot of force. Before I lift this up, I definitely am going to take my blowgun and clean it so that the rust doesn't drop in the tank. Okay, and I'm just going to get my blowgun, clean this up. So I'm going to put a little pan in here, and hopefully I can lift that pump up and put it right in there, because I'm sure there's going to be fuel that's going to drip out. So I'm just going to pry up the retaining ring. There we go. That's the retaining ring. Let's place that aside. Now we'll grab onto that pump. You can see the seal right here. You're going to want to pull that up. See if we can tilt it enough to get most of the residual fuel out. just draining out of the sock. And there's the pump. So now that you have the fuel pump module out, in order to change that fuel pump, you just have to disassemble a few pieces. So first thing I'm going to do is disconnect this fuel pump connector right up here. You see that little black tab? I'm going to take a screwdriver, pop it in there, and lift up. Just like that. And then this housing that locks around, I'm going to take another flat screwdriver, just pry the ears up enough so that I can get that sock out. Just like that. Now this pump should pull right out, except for the line. It's going to be kind of firm because it's attached to this hose right in here. So I'm going to grab that, just give it a quick twist and pull. So that's the piece you're trying to break free. And once you do that, you're going to take your new pump, assemble it, put the new sock on. This is a one-time use, so if I pry it off, it's not going to go back on. Inside this little silver ring are a bunch of little fingers that will grab it going one way, and you can't pull it off. So take your new sock, assemble it onto the new pump, and reverse procedure. So now you're going to line up that feed with that tube. Just like that. You can see it from this angle also. And you're going to push down firmly on that. You can feel it push and sit right in. I'm not going to put this connector on until I reconnect the housing that locks it in. See that tab right there? You're going to line it up with that little bump out. So slide it under the sock. And all these tabs around it, let it click in, just like that. 1, 2, and then 3. Now we can lift it up, take our electrical connector, line it up, and then just slide it down till it clicks. Make sure the seal's not damaged, and now we can reinstall the pump. Now to install your pump, you're going to go in at an angle, drop that level sensor in along with that sock, drop it down in, make sure the seal is still on there and attached. Now we're going to see which way the fuel line went, just like that. So we're going to turn it. So that lines up perfectly like that. Don't connect it yet. Get that right out of your way. Now you take this retainer, line up the tabs. You have 1 there, 2, and then 3. Seems like it broke off. So you're going to line those 3 tabs up. Just like that. I got 6 replacement nuts, and it is 6 millimeter by 1.0 pitch. So if you need to go searching for those, that's the type of nut that goes on these studs for the gas tank to the fuel filter housing. Okay, that's going to be a 10 millimeter socket, and I am just hand snugging them, and I'm going in a crisscross pattern. That way I don't get a chance of, kind of getting that rubber seal not to seat correctly. And it's a rather important seal. We don't want the fumes, gas spilling out. I'm not going to use an electric tool or air tool on this because this could be rather expensive if one of these studs decided to snap by accident. So I'm going to go old school, feel it. And there is a torque spec for this. I'm going to set up my torque wrench after, and we'll torque this cover down, retaining ring, in good fashion. There we go. Now we can just do a quick roundabout, make sure they're all snug. So the torque is going to be 5 foot-pounds or 60 inch-pounds. And we're still going to go in a crisscross pattern. Just double check. Now to reconnect that fuel line, I'm going to take this little plastic lock clip off of the actual pump. I'm going to grab that line, and I'm going to line it up and let it click on. So that way all I have to do is push it on and let it click. Just like that. Now we're going to take the connector, make sure there's no debris in there. If there is, let's clean it out. Line up the connector. It's actually got a design to it. Let it click. Place that cover down. There's little plastic line-up holes, believe it or not. There we go. You can see those pop right through. Grab your 3 screws. Start them by hand. Grab your Phillips screwdriver. So now to replace this, just bring it up. And there's one retaining clip, push that down. Now you can grab your back seat and lock it into place. And now you can close your trunk. Now you're good to go. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.